guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me Q&A. So I asked you guys on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter for some questions for a Q&A, so I'm just going to be answering them while I do my makeup. I'm not going to run through what I'm using or what I'm doing or anything. I'm just gonna do it while doing the Q&A. I will leave everything, as always, listed down below in the description box if you are wondering what I used. I do that for every video anyway, but yeah, if there's something you want to know that I used, it will be down below. So one of the first questions on Instagram was my go-to eye look. My go-to eye look was the last get ready with me I filmed, which I believe is 2 videos ago. That's pretty much what I do every time I don't know what to wear. But just in general, like some purpley pink or like orangey shades in the crease, or like a halo eye, as well as a champagne color on the lid is like everything. I love that look so much. That question was from She Writes About It, by the way. Next question, also by She Writes About It. Favorite highlighter? That one's a hard one. It depends on whether it's like everyday highlighter or like go-to highlighter. My go-to highlighter is definitely Mary Lou by The Balm. I love that highlighter so much. I don't use it too much in makeup tutorials because if I'm doing like a full face of makeup, I prefer something a little more intense, but like day to day, my go-to highlighter is definitely Mary Lou. If it's like a full-on highlighter, I would probably say the Moonchild Glow Kit, in particular Pink Heart. I just love that glow kit so much, and pink is my favorite color. Pink highlighters are so beautiful, so I'm all about that. If you can hear any background noise, I've just had to put my aircon on because it is so hot today. It's not even summer yet, and we're already dying of heat. I hate Brisbane weather so much, just Australian weather in general. I can't stand the heat, so the aircon is on, so I apologize if you can hear that in the background. The next question from She Writes About It also is, are you gonna do Halloween tutorials? I am going to do some. I've got like 2 in mind that I want to do. They're not gonna be like super creative or anything like that. I don't know, I feel like I'm really uncreative when it comes to that type of thing. Like, I can do the makeup, but I can't come up with new ideas for stuff like that. So I'm just gonna do a couple of pretty basic ones for more so for people who don't know what they're gonna be for Halloween and just want something like pretty simple. So I've got a few in mind. I want to do 4, but I'm not sure if I'll end up doing that many. But yeah, I've got a couple in mind, but don't expect anything like super outstanding from me. The next question is from Degari Rose, which is top tips for making sure your makeup lasts throughout the day. I'm not sure. I think setting powder is definitely one of the biggest tips. Like, even in my dry areas, I set my whole face, and I know that doesn't work for everyone, but I also like go in like this with my setting powder. I will like press it in with my beauty blender, and that really helps it last the entire day. I find that my makeup like barely budges if I do this, but I feel like skincare is one of the biggest things. I used to have super oily skin, and I don't actually have that oily skin. I think it was just that I didn't really take care of my skin, and I didn't moisturize often. And since moisturizing, my skin has actually gotten way less oily. So I feel like it was because I wasn't moisturizing, my skin was producing excess oil because it didn't have that moisture and it was dehydrated. So really keeping on top of moisturizing, as well as I use African black soap daily, and that really controls the oil in my skin. And I feel like that's the biggest thing to make your makeup last longer. And it's the same with like eye makeup and stuff. I don't prime my eyes with a primer. I just use concealer, but you just have to make sure you set it down with a setting powder or something. And I don't find that it moves around throughout the day, but I really need like a lot of like powder on my eyes for it to stay. So I make sure I go in with like liberally with some setting powder. Also from Degari Rose is, if you could only do one thing, like face, lips, eyes, or eyebrows, which one and why? I feel like with the way my skin is now, definitely face. Like day to day, if I just need to throw makeup on, I put on concealer. If I had flawless skin, I would, or even like just mostly flawless skin, I think I would say either brows or eyes. Eyes, just because that's like the most creative part. I feel like apart from lips, there's not a lot super creative you can do with your makeup. Like obviously you can, but that's like the easiest way to be creative is the eyes. But also brows, like it depends on what I'm going for, because I find brows just pull the whole face together. So like beauty wise, I would say brows, but like creativity wise, definitely eyes, because I love eye makeup so much. But unfortunately, with the way my skin is set up, definitely face for myself. Catherine Louise 17 asked, how do you keep your makeup in place during summer? And I kind of mentioned that already in the last one, just with like, it's really all about skincare for me. Obviously, like in Australian summer, even if you don't have like super oily skin, it's still a struggle because Australian heat is the worst. But also just finding a foundation that is really long wearing. I'm really excited to use the Fenty Beauty foundation during summer, because I actually used that before I went to the gym, and it still looked flawless after the gym. So I'm super excited to see if the Fenty foundation wears well in Australian heat. But yeah, I feel like the main part is just skincare, just making sure you control your oil production. Wavy MUA asked, how did it feel getting on Anastasia Beverly Hills PR? I literally cried when I got my first package. I was like, I didn't believe that it would be real until I actually got it. Like I was super convinced that the email was fake when I got the email. And so I responded and everything because it came from like a legit email address and everything, but I just was like, there's no way they would be sending that to me. I'd only just hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, so I was like, there is no way that this is a legit email. This is totally like a scam. Like I don't know why they would scam me, but it's totally a scam. And then when it actually arrived, when I opened the package, I literally cried because there was just so much. And it's not even about the makeup, it's just the fact that the brand saw potential in me, because like with my follow count, there's no advantage to them sending me anything, because like all the people who follow me are already going to be following other people who have their products anyway, so they're not actually benefiting by sending me anything. So the fact that they see potential in me, that is what means so much to me, and I just get really emotional whenever I think about it. It was like one of the best feelings ever, especially because it was only the second company who had contacted me about sending me anything, so that just blew my mind. I still can't believe it. I just did my brows off camera because I cannot talk while I do my brows. I just have to focus too much on it. So I just quickly did them off camera. I'm just using a combination of the Too Faced Chocolate Bar and Sweet Peach palettes today. So I'm just gonna be dipping into both of them in case you were wondering. The next question is from Vladimir Payton. She asked, what Game of Thrones house are you? What are your favorite Halsey songs and favorite Halsey makeup look? Is it cheating that I know your interests? No, it is not. I love that you have asked me these questions. Game of Thrones house, I'm not sure. I've done quizzes before, and I think I just got placed in Stark, so I don't know. I don't feel like I resonate too strongly with any house, really. If I had to choose one, I would probably just go with Stark. I love the Targaryens and the Lannisters. I don't know, I feel like I can't even choose a favorite house because I love certain characters from each house. I don't know. My favorite Halsey songs would have to be Is There Somewhere, Young God, and Eyes Closed, I think. One from each of her albums. I love so many of them, but those would definitely be my top 3. And favorite Halsey makeup look, I can't bring a lot of them to mind, but the one that stands out was when she had her Badlands hair. Like this makeup look, I can't find a like proper picture that shows off the makeup, but that's the one that really stands out to me, so I think probably that one. That's also my favorite hair that she's had, so yeah. A question I got on Twitter from Rapfika, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, I'm sorry, was what is your most embarrassing moment or the funniest thing that's happened to you? I feel like I have so many embarrassing moments. I feel like I'm just a really embarrassing person. But probably my most embarrassing moment would be a few years ago. I was on the bus coming home from uni, and at the time I had a Samsung phone and I didn't have like extra storage for it or anything, so I also had an iPod, and I was listening to my iPod and I listened to my music pretty loud, and I don't know, for some reason, I don't know why I thought of it, but all of a sudden I was like, wait, are my headphones plugged in properly? I checked it and everything because I was really scared that like I'd just been blasting my music for some reason, and no, they were plugged in properly, so I was like, okay, sweet. And on my phone I started playing Candy Crush, and because I like get super addicted to mobile games, and I was on a really hard level and I was losing a lot. I was almost home and my bus ride was like 25 minutes. So I was probably like at least 20 minutes into my bus ride and the song that I was on finished, so there was like a break in the music. And I realized that the volume on my phone was up full and you could hear all of the Candy Crush music playing the entire time, and like I'd seen a couple of people look at me while I was on the bus, but like I don't know, I thought it might have just been like a passing glance. But yeah, I had my Candy Crush music up full, which is like super obnoxious music. Let me just, like super obnoxious sound effects as well. Let me just go into a level and start playing. And I'd had that playing up full volume the entire way home and did not notice a thing. And luckily, like I was almost home and I like quickly turned it down, and the next stop was my stop, and I just like ran off the bus pretty much. That's probably one of my most embarrassing moments by far. Joe Erin asked on YouTube, she asked a few questions. First one is, do you have any hobbies aside from makeup, of course? I have so many hobbies. Like, I'm a really obsessive person, so I go like real hard, like all or nothing for one hobby for months, and then I won't touch it again for ages and I'll move on to the next one. But I love video games, I love reading, I binge watch TV shows all the time. I play guitar. I don't do this one too much anymore. Since moving out of home, I only pick up my guitar maybe 3 times a year, if that. But when I pick it up again, I play it for quite a while. I also love art and I love drawing. I mainly focus on digital art, but I also love just like sketching with pencils and stuff. I'm not too much of a traditional art person, like at all. The most I really do is sketching, and even then it's mostly so that I can scan it in and complete it on the computer. So I'm definitely more of a digital art person, but I love creating art. I just love the arts in general. I used to love writing when I was in high school, but I kind of fell out of it, and I don't know, writing's one of those things I'm kind of scared to get back into, because when you first start again, everything's kind of cringy. I wanted to start writing poetry again like a year or 2 ago, but just never got back into it. But yeah, I always find it really hard to focus on my hobbies, because there's like, I love makeup and that's what I do mostly in my spare time because I work almost full time, but usually I can like find one thing at a time to do. Also, like lately the gym, like I haven't been going just for like health or anything. I've been going because I legitimately love going. So that's become like a huge hobby of mine recently, is just going to the gym and exercising. So yeah, I have so many hobbies and I really wish I had time to do all of them all the time. Next question is, what are your favorite vegan foods? That's hard. I love tofu. I really like tofu. But like tofu is so hit and miss. Like if it isn't prepared properly, then it can be real bland and just not nice. But I have this recipe that I cook. It's like peanut butter tofu. That's kind of like a satay sauce. Clint isn't vegetarian or vegan or anything, but he will eat like the vegetarian and vegan stuff that I cook for dinner, and he absolutely loves that meal, and it is so nice. I love tofu in general though. I've started buying more dairy-free ice creams recently, and the Weiss one, dark chocolate, it's made on coconut milk, is so good. I love it so much. It tastes like a Bounty, but better because it's more chocolatey and it's dark chocolate. Oh, it's so good. So Good they've got a few dairy-free ice creams. One of them is like chocolate and almond, and it's made on almond milk, so the almonds kind of like blend into the almond milk flavor. And they also just recently released a salted caramel one, which is the best thing ever, but that one is really expensive, the So Good ones. It's like $6 for a tiny like 400 gram tub of it. I don't know, I like a lot of vegan food. Hummus as well. It's not like specifically a vegan food, but I feel like a lot of people who are vegan or vegetarian like absolutely love hummus. Love hummus so much. It's so good. There's this zesty jalapeno hummus that I am obsessed with. It's so spicy, and that is what made me love hummus, because I tried a sample of it at Coles. And the last question from Joanne is, did you always know you wanted to be a makeup artist? How did you know that it was the career for you? I did not always know that I was going to be a makeup artist, not at all. I actually went to uni for games design and like focusing on art, specifically 2D art, which is why I love art so much. And I actually completed my bachelor's in games design, and it was probably like 2 years into my 3-year degree that I realized that it wasn't really for me. Like, I enjoy video games a lot and I love art, but it just wasn't something I could see myself doing as a career, and I kind of lost interest in it a bit. But I was already 2 years into my 3-year degree, so I didn't feel like there was any use in dropping out at that point. I might as well push through to the end. So I just pushed through that last year, got my degree, and it was probably around that point that I decided that I wanted to pursue makeup more, because I was getting really into makeup. But even before I went to uni, there were so many other things I wanted to do. From the years of like 9 to maybe 15 or 16, I really wanted to be a musician. I used to take guitar lessons every week. I was always in the rock band at school, and I loved singing as well. I was in the vocal group, and I always participated in the musicals. I also played piano, but yeah, for a long time my career prospect was being a musician. That was probably like the biggest one that I had growing up, was to be a musician. I absolutely loved Avril, and after I kind of grew out of Avril a little bit, I loved rock bands. I loved Foo Fighters and Green Day for the longest time, and Pearl Jam, and I just always loved rock music, and I always wanted to be like in a rock band. Also in high school though, started getting really into art when I was in high school, and I wanted to just be an artist and live off commissions and everything. That was another one for a long time, and that was actually what pushed me to study games design, because I was always really good at the computer classes like IPT and ICT and stuff. So I was top in the class in IPT in year 12, so that is what pushed me to study games design, but it just ended up not being for me. The way I discovered that being a makeup artist was for me though, I feel like the time I realized that makeup was really what I wanted to pursue was when like I'd been doing it for a while, like just applying makeup and everything, and I had started doing YouTube for a few months and I was still really interested in it. Usually after a couple months the interest starts slowly fading. So that's kind of when I decided that makeup was really what I wanted to do. It's because there's so many different aspects to doing YouTubing. Not so much like being a makeup artist in general, but YouTubing, there's so many different aspects to it. Like there's the actual makeup art and applying the makeup, but there's also the filming, the editing, the decorating, product shots. Like there's so much that's involved in being an influencer, and that's really what I love doing. Not so much just makeup. I love every aspect of being an influencer, I guess. I wouldn't really call myself an influencer because I just don't feel like I'm at that stage yet, but you know, there's a lot that goes into this type of thing and I love every aspect of it. So even when I get bored of one thing, I can kind of focus on another. So that's what I love about it. The next questions are from Kira Evans. The first one is, do you have any makeup or skincare products you would recommend for somebody with textured, acne, crazy combination skin? Honestly, I'm still trying to find them myself. Like, I struggle so bad with the texture and the acne on my skin. One thing that I love is this Formula 10.0.6 PM Perfector. I love this night cream. It feels so nice and I feel like it does help with my acne. It definitely doesn't reduce it completely because I obviously still have a lot of it, but I feel like it helps and it is like super hydrating for nighttime, but like it doesn't make your skin too oily. It's definitely one of my favorite moisturizers. And if you pick at your skin a lot, I mentioned this before, but if you like pop pimples a lot, which I'm very guilty of, the Redwin Sensitive Skin Moisturizer is also a great nighttime one because it kind of just heals those breakouts, not the breakouts themselves, but just the like sores from picking at them overnight, so then you won't have like these massive sores on your face the next day. The next question is, have you ever thought of getting any cosmetic surgeries, fillers, etc.? Face wise, not really. Like I've considered lip fillers, but I don't think I would. Like I don't know, I might, just to try it out because it's something that goes away and it isn't permanent, but I'm not like that insecure about my lips or anything. Like I overdraw them, but I'm fine with doing that. I don't really care. So face wise, I don't think I would. I would love a breast reduction though. I have G cups and it's the worst, and yeah, that's like the main like cosmetic surgery that I would consider, but I do not have enough money for that, so that will not happen anytime soon. What are your thoughts on people who have changed their looks through cosmetic surgeries? I don't care at all. Like, I'm all for it if it makes you more comfortable. I just, personally, there's nothing that I don't like about myself that much that I would change. And then, will you ever do a boyfriend tag? I'm sorry for the light that's coming in on my shoulder. I feel like if I close this window behind me, it'll get way too dark in here, so I'm just gonna leave it open and deal with the light that's coming through, even though it's making me really hot. I will do a boyfriend tag eventually. I feel like I need to fix up my filming room a bit first because there's not a lot of room in here for more than one person, so I feel like it would be really awkward and uncomfortable and like cramped in here to film with anyone else. But I definitely will at some point. And then another question, do you ever feel pressure regarding body or beauty image being on YouTube and other social media? I do to an extent. It's not awful or anything, and I feel like everyone has insecurities, and I feel like a lot of those insecurities would be there whether or not I was on YouTube or social media anyway, just through like, you know, magazines, ads, movies, and everything. But definitely to an extent, I get really insecure about my skin a lot because I do deal with really bad acne. Not so much my face other than that. There's my teeth, but I've kind of grown to accept my teeth. I just have missing teeth here, and like I was born without them. So there's not much that I can do apart from get braces to move all of my teeth in. and it's just way more effort than it's worth. So I've kind of grown to accept my teeth, but body-wise definitely, especially, I mentioned the boobs. I feel like that makes my whole body look bigger than it actually is, and I get really insecure about that, especially seeing so many like beauty gurus who are also like very fashion heavy. I feel like I can't pull off the same things a lot of people can, and I definitely get insecure about that, but it's not anything that's like super brought on by social media specifically. It's just stuff that, you know, would probably exist anyway due to like movies, magazines, ads, all that type of stuff. Alright, so those are all the questions I got, so I'm just going to finish off my lashes and lips off camera, and I'll be right back. Alright, so that is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A Get Ready With Me. Like I said in my last Get Ready With Me, I'm looking to just get a little more like personal, do like get to know me type of things. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys know a little more about me now rather than just my face and then I put on makeup. If you did like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if this is your first time joining me, then don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.